to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Yeah, hello everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast, powered by DealsMD.com. Mike and Jay. Shalom, Big E. Jay, how are you, my buddy?
Marginally upset, Mike. We're out of salts.
Yeah.
We haven't started a show without a salt, and I don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we should do this.
I don't feel right. Something about that just isn't sitting well, and I didn't learn about it until halfway through the intro music, and it was like, where's the salt?
Moments ago is when I realized it.
Wow. I thought we just got a couple boxes in the mail or something.
I don't remember that, no. I
No?
don't remember a couple boxes.
Boy, it's not like us to be this irresponsible and run ourselves completely out of salts before.
Yeah, usually we say this like 2 months before, giving listeners enough time to send us more salts.
Right.
We failed to do that.
Boy, oh boy. Can we rejuvenate an old one? Have we tried that yet?
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going through the garbage. Get an old pink salt.
All right. Well, folks, if the show is balls today, you know why. It's because of the salt issue. Anyway, yeah, you guys were just here a few hours ago, so getting on to some new things in the world. Finally move on from storm porn, I suppose. That's kind of winding down. They're still trying to cover it, but it's like it's basically a tropical storm.
Hoping to uncover some more death and destruction that they haven't yet found. You know, they'll search through some buildings, hoping to find bodies. But other than that, you're right. It's basically a windy rainstorm at this point.
And I don't know why they're still having the circles on the screen, like showing that it's a Category 1, thunderstorm going into Georgia. It's like, okay, so it's raining outside in Georgia. Great, whatever. We will take a look at some pictures of Branson's, what is it, Necker Island that he owns there in the Caribbean?
Yeah, it didn't look good, Mike. I saw those.
Did you see him?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not pretty, but
poor guy.
He'll be all right, right? He can weather this storm, so to speak, and I'm sure he can find a way to rebuild. I think he'll be all right.
I'm sure he was insured.
Yes, hopefully so. Steve Bannon was on 60 Minutes last night with Charlie. Was it Charlie Rose?
Charlie Rose, man.
Boy, oh boy. That liberal left does not like anyone in this Trump administration, do they? It just comes screaming off the TV.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, your reaction to it depends on which team you're on, I suppose.
Yeah.
If you're on the right, you're going, hell yeah. There you go. Steve Bannon telling it like it is. And if you're on the left, fuck that guy. He couldn't even answer the question about whether there was Russian interference or not.
Yeah, well, that one is just so... I thought he did kind of, because... Charlie Rose is like, well, what do you think about Russia? And he's like...
No, he said, did Russia try to interfere? And he dodged the question.
Why would you dodge that question? We've
Because
known for decades that they've tried to do that.
You say they interfered just like everybody else does, just like we do in their elections.
Yeah, like why is that such a hard answer? Like that doesn't have anything to do with Trump. It doesn't have anything to do with the election. There's, by all accounts, there's nothing that says...
Because he knows it's a hot potato. He knows it's a headline waiting to be made. If he says, yeah, there was evidence. And he also knows that he's seen top secret information on this, and he doesn't want to disclose it.
Cool would that be? God, I want clearance.
Yeah.
So bad. UFOs, the Russia thing. Sure,
well, as you told me the other day, even with clearance, you don't get to know about the UFOs, according to Netflix.
Yes, that's true.
I'm waiting for the rest of the media to break this story that you told me about last week.
Dude, the media's a part of it. It's one big giant thing, Jay. You don't understand how deep this goes and how infiltrated they are to keep the UFOs hidden from the public.
Only Tom DeLonge knows about it. He's the only one.
And Podesta. Don't forget about Podesta. He must be just crying. He's probably more upset than Hillary. He was this close, dude, to get into a next level
Area
shit. 51. And now he's just got his little Dakota ring.
It's a red Dakota ring sitting at home in the Hamptons.
I thought Bannon's answer on, when he was just like, look, the Russia collusion thing is a farce. It's an absolute farce. Because that's kind of what I've believed. And if you notice, it's just kind of disappeared. That story was everything for a year. And now it's just like, on to the next thing. And it hasn't gone anywhere.
Onto the racist angle.
Yeah, the neo-Nazi angle. I love when they do that. What about David Duke? What about David Duke? It's like, yeah, okay.
But in the meantime, the story out of Russia, though, is that they now have the special counsel in place, Mueller, who can dig into basically anything he wants.
Yeah.
And so that's why Bannon called, I think he said, the firing of James Comey was the worst political decision in the history of political decisions.
Yeah, which is crazy to think about. But do you really think that's true? I mean, he's a smart enough guy, Bannon. I don't know where the Comey thing would have gone. Why would it be different with Mueller in there? Because they would have had the same. They could have done the same things, right?
Mueller has way broader discretion in terms of the special investigation, and it's supposedly, nonpartisan, and so he can dig wherever he wants, and he can be very, very broad in what he digs into. And then if Trump decides to fire him, that then takes 1A as the worst political decision ever made.
Yeah, I wonder why he made that decision. People couldn't see playing this out further down the road. You know what I mean? I love when Charlie was trying to pin him down on something. I think about DACA, actually. And he's like, I don't need to be lectured by you limousine liberals about blah, blah, blah. I think
he is who he is. And I frankly don't know. I haven't researched this dude like other people have. And so all this, stuff about, him and Breitbart and racist stuff that he's done, I don't know. But, dude, he is very comfortable with who he is.
Yeah.
And the stances he takes. And he really believes in the populist angle. And he believes that will rule and that Trump will win in another landslide, he says.
Wow. He's one of those guys. It's such a freeing place if you can honestly get there where you're like, yeah, I'm comfortable with who I am and what I believe, and I absolutely don't give a shit what you think about what I think. And that's a very liberating...
Well, he was the architect to a lot of what we experienced during the Trump campaign. That whole just cut through the bullshit, cut through the elitist angles on both sides, and just speak what is truly happening here and see what the media really is.
Yeah, well, it's pretty easy to see when you look at it, and it's gotten worse. I don't know. I know neither of us have really looked that much into Bannon. At first, I thought it was a weird decision because you knew that what a hot target he was for just to automatically blanket throw the racist term out there because of Breitbart and some of their flashy headlines and stories and things like that. But do you know where he made a lot of his money?
No.
Seinfeld, believe it or not.
How?
Well, it's kind of an interesting story, and there's been some debate about this. I think it was the New York Times did a piece and was like, well, it's not really true. He didn't make all his money from there. It's overblown. But some other people have dug further into it, and it sounds like he did actually make a shitload of money off the Seinfeld thing. And they say
through
that
the production company or what?
Yeah, it gets exactly Castle Rock Media, and things were sold, and it's kind of interesting though. They say the syndication for Seinfeld is worth about $3.1 billion.
Oh my God!
Can you believe that? That's unreal. By most accounts, much of Bannon's net worth comes from his stake in the show. Before he was a White House advisor, he negotiated a profit participation in Seinfeld 2 years before the show went into syndication. It could have earned him $32 million plus, starting since 1998. He got in on Seinfeld through Westinghouse Electric, which hired him to sell its stake in Castle Rock Entertainment, which is the production company that Rob Reiner founded, and that produced Seinfeld. Meathead, exactly. When all of Castle Rock was acquired by Ted Turner, Bannon allegedly took an ownership stake in the show. Westinghouse execs, so they're paying him all this money to do this deal, and they're like, well, if this is such a great deal, why don't you defer some of your cash fee and keep in the ownership stake? And he's like, yeah, I'll do that. 2 years before syndication would have started for Seinfeld, people would have known that was going to be a monster, right?
Yeah.
And so he's like, one of the shows that was included in this package deal was Seinfeld, and he continues to benefit from a stream of royalties to this day. So back in 97, where people say, it's not really that true, his income and expense declaration indicated his salary was like $500,000 a year. He was going through a divorce, and he said his total assets were $1.1 million. And so any profit participations from Seinfeld should have been shown to be, it would have shown up in this paperwork. And since it didn't, people were like, ha, he doesn't have the Seinfeld money. Business Week reporter Josh Green, who's been following the story of Bannon and Seinfeld money for a long time now, says that he's casting some doubt on that the New Yorker article. Suggestion that the Trump advisor isn't making money from the show. I'd always wondered how much he got, so I did some more digging. Bannon Seinfeld money is overestimated, but that he still receives royalties from the subsidiary that bought his firm. So Seinfeld's rights went to SocGen after when Bannon sold that firm to defer income rather than pay lump sum taxes on the total assets. So it's being hidden under this SocGen company, which is why it's not so noticeable. But I thought it was interesting, man, that
No idea.
Larry David's like, fuck, I had no idea who this guy was. You know, this guy's profiting off of all of us Jews. Something like that.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be an anti-Semite, right?
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
It struck me again, though, watching Bannon. Like, you know, he made statements just about nationalism and about DACA. Obviously, he completely disagrees with it and thinks that, you know, once these people's work permits expire, they ought to go back. And then if they want to come back in, they do so through legal routes.
What did he call it?
Deportation.
Deportation. It was
Maybe.
like, dude, are you kidding me?
But it just struck me again, like how drastic the notion is in so many people's eyes, that we take care of Americans first. Like, why is that? Like, wipe away the R, wipe away the D, wipe away the rhetoric of people, the personalities, take that out, take the messenger out of it, and just think about that theory.
Yeah.
Take care of our own before we take care of other people. Why is that so drastic, man?
It is.
Why is that
to a
so
lot of
wrong?
people.
Why is that so racist?
Well, it is to a lot of people, and I've stopped even doing the stories on it because it's so absurd. But I've watched countless interviews where Tucker Carlson will have someone that has that view, and he'll say the same thing. He'll pose that question, like, is it so wrong to think, you know, with X millions of unemployed Americans, why would you welcome these people into the country and let them have jobs? As an American, shouldn't you, lean that way, that you take care of your Americans first? And these guests are just appalled. Like, we're all human beings.
You know, I remember the statement in the inaugural that took so much heat where Trump was like, everything we do economically, everything we do on the world stage, every decision we make is going to be filtered through the lens of how does this benefit America first? Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
Racist.
Amen, man. You know, think about it in terms of just your family, you know, as families are individual units, as our countries around the world. Like, you take care of your family.
Yeah.
And then when you can do more outside of that, you naturally do more.
Yeah.
And if you have a strong family structure, you're able to do more good outside of that, right?
Sure. And the more money you get, there's kind of just a natural obligation that you should do more. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know why there is such a massive disconnect between, you know, you're really talking about California, New York, and the country, and the rest of the country.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that comes from. If it's just because you've got shitloads of really rich people that depend on this cheap labor that they love, or the fact that Los Angeles now is 95% Mexican.
That you know, it's the identity politics that benefit the left more than the right. But it's also a worldist push that's been going on for decades, and certainly under Obama, this notion that, you know, we're not exceptional, but rather we're
one piece of the global puzzle.
People. And, you know, there's conspiracy theories abound within that framework.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to, like, go down that rabbit hole, but I think that's one answer to it.
Yeah.
It's George Soros funding this worldist progressive view.
For what? Is it just about making more money? Like, opening that up? Is it as simple as, like, look, we need these people coming in here. If we can get them legal somehow, it's just sheer votes for the Democrats. And so we really push this agenda and guilt people into accepting this, and do sob stories on the news about what this family got fucked over because of blah, blah, blah. I don't know, but it's...
I think the conspiracy theorists would say that's the short-term goal. The long-term goal is world domination. Honestly.
It just doesn't make...
Like, without borders...
Yeah.
Without governments, but rather just domination of the world.
Yeah. Well, it's insulting, you know, when you look at...
He's shaking his head yes over there, so I know I'm right.
Oh, yeah, dude, that is a goal, dude. It's not like... I'm not talking like James Bond stuff in a way, but I think that is what Jay's right. I think the ultimate thing is that movement. When Jay said, I forget the name, but the guy is one guy just funding... Is George Soros just funding... This thing, and that's what I think what people would worry about.
And that's why there's such this pushback against such a common sense theory, like a nationalistic view. Take care of America first, because that whoa, wait, we're putting borders around our country? No, that's wrong.
Yeah. And people talk about that. Like, what do you hate about Americans? Well, they're so braggadocious. They're so loud. They think they're the best at everything.
We're not allowed to have a culture, I guess.
Right.
Everybody else is, by the
I know.
way. Everybody else is allowed a culture. We are not allowed anything.
And that's
if we do,
what's
we're
so-
stealing it from someone.
That's what makes it so insulting. It's like, dude, you realize Americans take in more immigrants than any country on the planet. Like, the thought that we're somehow just like, get out of here. It's absurd. We're the most
We have
welcoming.
a very liberal system. Just follow the system.
Yeah. And the idea now that, well, yeah, laws were broken, but it's okay in this instance. It's like, well, you're just a monster if you go, well, in this country we abide by the laws. And so I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you, but it is what it is.
Boy, sounds real police state to me, Mike.
Yeah.
Sounds like Nazi Germany. Nazis! Honestly,
I keep going
I'm
back
sick
to-
of this shit. I really am.
Yeah, I know. I think it's not going to get much better either.
No,
anytime
it's an absolute
soon.
battle. It's a war.
Yeah.
And that's Bannon's ultimate point was, I resigned. He's claiming, go to his deathbed saying he resigned
Yeah.
because he believes he can fight outside the White House more effectively than he can within.
I wonder
He was the
what he
last man
means by that.
He was the
Yeah.
last man standing for what the agenda really was
Yeah.
during the election. He said the original sin of the administration was within 48 hours, they adopted the establishment. And they said,
Yeah.
we've got to run a government, so we're going to bring in establishment people and get in bed with them.
And I don't know that you can blame Trump for that.
You got to do it to some extent.
Yeah, you have to. I mean,
But he must be talking deeper than that. He must be talking about, just commitments that
Yeah.
were made to congressmen and so forth that he wasn't comfortable with.
well, I thought it was interesting, too, when he was talking about just like, you have no idea how ingrained and deep the swamp goes. Like, if you think
Oh,
you're going to
yeah.
go in a term or in 2 terms.
He's like 50 years.
Yeah, that's what they've built. This is the machine that is built there, and it's so ingrained that, which is why I don't have a problem with Trump dealing with the Democrats on this thing. It's like, dude, fuck, open season, whatever. Go where you got to go to get shit done. But I don't fault him for that, going, I need to get some guys and get in and make some deals, because I think in his naivete, he really honestly thought he could go in, shake the right hands, and
Yeah.
make some fucking deals. And those people are proving that they are not interested in him having a successful
Well, that's what Bannon said at
campaign.
one point. He said it's a city of institutions, not personalities that can be
Yeah.
managed. Like
Yeah.
Trump thought he could come in, like you say, shake hands and sway people to his side.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, this is institutional. This isn't just one guy at the head of this thing.
And-
this goes deep, and it's decades deep. And the notion of draining a swamp is going to take 50 years. He said the first time that they met with Mitch McConnell after the election victory, Mitch was very clear in saying, you got to stop this drain the swamp stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, he's the head alligator in the swamp.
Right.
And he was just like, yeah, from that moment on, I mean,
we knew.
you're up against it.
Yeah, it's too bad, but I could see in Trump's mind thinking like, well, I've gotten along with all these people. I've donated to the Clintons. I've donated to whoever on the right and the left, whatever works best for me. So he thinks he's got buddies in Chuck Schumer,
Yeah.
or Mitch McConnell, or Paul Ryan, on opposite sides of the aisle, and he just doesn't. In the end, he doesn't. Yeah, it sucks. It is what it is.
Hey, Mike.
Yes,
We're
sir.
excited to welcome the full DealsInTheD.com family to the Detroit Cast. It all started with Zot Ford during our original Kickstarter campaign. God, that seems like ages ago, doesn't it?
Yeah,
And
it
now the
does.
entire Zot family has come upon us, which is gross. Welcome, Zot M59 Dodge Ram in Highland, Zot M59 Chrysler Jeep in White Lake, Zot M59 Toyota in Waterford, and of course, Zot Ford in Holly. Go check out all of their inconceivable deals and massive inventory at DealsInTheD.com.
Putting the wraps on the storm porn, nearly 5.8 million homes, Jay, and businesses across Florida lost power. It's quite a bit of homes.
How do I get my mind around that? I heard it was like, what, 58% of Florida's out of power?
Something like that, yeah. That's a lot of people. They said it could be weeks before it's restored. Think about that, dude. When we lose power for a day, it's like, oh, I'm on the verge. I want to jump out of a high rise.
It flickered. God damn it, I got to reset my clock. Shit. My alarm clock's blinking.
Oh, god damn. I walk downstairs and I just see dash, 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 dash on my microwave where it normally says like 8:05.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, shit. Shit. Oh, just where's the closest high rise? I'm leaping. I can't deal with this. I've gotten that point where you reset everything and then it goes and flickers again.
God damn it. It is very inconvenient.
Yeah. Weeks. Oh, God. What the hell would I do without power for weeks?
You leave.
Yeah, maybe.
Leave. There's no way. You can't stay for weeks without power.
I don't know that we could.
No.
Survive? Like, dude, I'm not a survivalist.
No, dude, it's true.
Like, what am I going to do?
You really think about it. You couldn't. What would you do?
I realized it when the power went out last time, and it was like I didn't have, like, all of a sudden my video games on my iPhone didn't even work. It's like I'm sitting here in the dark. I can't read. It's like, well, maybe I'll play a little Walking Dead on
Why
my,
didn't your video games work?
Because they need Wi-Fi connection.
No, I guess.
Well,
so,
and then the other problem is you can't plug in your phone. So once your battery's slowly dying, and you're thinking like, well, I can't plug this thing in.
One call left with this. I could run it out to my car and plug it in there.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Dude, that reminds me. I was at the Country Music Fest in Taylor over the weekend.
Hell yeah.
And my phone was running low, so I turned it off. I'm like, I've got to save this for a tweet later or something.
Sure.
Then I realized there's a charging station over there. How cool was that? Just walked over, plugged it in. It was just so cool.
Dude,
That's
You
awesome.
know,
They're
just
a-
like cool for the community. You know that people they
Yeah.
don't fuck with your phone. You know, it's just cool. You just walk over and plug it in.
How long did you
Everybody's
charge it
cool
for?
about it. I don't know, maybe a half hour.
Really? Those are popping
I'll
up
tell
in
you,
a
though,
lot
I
of
stood
places,
there with
man.
one eye on that phone the whole time.
Oh, hell yeah, yeah. I
About 100
trust
people
anyone.
walked
You
by
kidding?
there. Oh, you totally can trust them, Mike. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just, it's just a festival atmosphere. It's just cool. Everybody's working together.
It just takes one, man. One bad apple can ruin it forever.
That's
It can
true.
spoil the whole
That's true.
bunch, man. There's one opportunistic guy out there that wants to.
But you know what? If he takes it, I just figure, maybe he needs it more than me.
That's a good attitude, man.
It's got to be the
Karma.
attitude. That's right.
So anyway, what were you gonna say, E? Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna to his point about the charging station. Sorry, Jesus Christ. I apologize. I didn't. I would have held back my phrasing if I'd known the bell was so far away. But, but like that is the funniest thing of technology to me. That has like that. 10 years ago, maybe more, you wouldn't go to the NASCAR race, or you wouldn't go to the Palace. Like this new Joe Louis, you talk about the new Little Caesar Arena. If you think that isn't going to have charging stations in it, it will. And when I was in New York
airports too. I love that at the airports.
Hell
every
yes.
one of them, every 10 feet, there's a charging station.
And when I was in New York last week, they had on almost every block, and sometimes even twice a block, they had provided through the city a little like thing, and it had it had a USB thing, so you could plug your phone into it, you could charge your phone, you could make calls, you could use free Wi-Fi, and there was like a screen that had maps of the city.
You know what's funny? That shit's going to be obsolete too someday when they figure out how to just power these things through energy
exactly.
floating around us. It's going to be like, remember those charging stations?
You're right,
What a joke. It's the payphone of tomorrow.
Dude, once they start chipping us, phones will be a thing of the past.
Yeah.
It's just like deet twice on your temple,
Yeah.
and your contacts pop up on a screen that only you can see.
We'll all be Lobot.
Yeah. So anyway, we had 5.8 million people without power. At least 32, probably a lot more. I'm sure you guys have seen the videos. Have been arrested across Florida for trying to loot the empty businesses and
man.
homes. People burst into a Orlando sporting store and got into a standoff with SWAT units because they were trying to steal guns. And then there was
That's
another
one thing, guns. But, dude, I see a bunch of people booking out with Adidas, Number one, why are you taking Adidas and not Nike? But,
Yeah,
like, what kind of values, dude?
I know.
We live in a time and a place where having a sweet set of fucking shoes means possibly more than your liberty.
Yeah.
You're willing to risk your freedom
Yeah.
for a pair of Adidas.
Well, I saw they'd kicked in like a whole like glass big right there, that hole, and people are just coming out with like stacks of Jordans. Like boxes of Jordans and shit, and running off to their car. And I saw this one guy, I don't know who he was, but he tweeted something like Black Lives Matter rescues Air Jordans from a Foot Locker.
Ooh. Ooh.
So people have been asking where all the Black Lives Matter people are with all these.
Denouncing it, you mean?
No,
think this is best
where
way
they
to
are.
be
Why aren't they
fair.
here helping poor black people in Texas or in Florida? Look at this dude.
I got to get mine.
Why are you going through the hole in the? Well, I thought that was an open door there. How ridiculous and sad is this, dude? Like really over a look at that dude. Hell yeah, I
There's
got
a
my
storm.
Jordans.
This isn't even the protest. This is because a storm hit.
Just looking for any window of opportunity.
I called out like 8 boxes of shoes.
Hell yeah!
Dude, it is flies on shit. When one of them finds it, it's like all of a sudden here come the rest, and everyone runs in and busts in, and
That is so
Start
grim,
stealing
man.
shit from your own community. It's just, it's a bummer. Did you say you did see Branson's home? I was going to pull up the pictures.
Yeah,
I
saw those pictures this morning.
Pull them over really quick. E.
Pretty wrecked, man.
Yeah.
And again, you don't have the infrastructure to just call some contractors and come over and rebuild your luxury shit.
Yeah.
This is big problem for Dick.
Yeah, I imagine he'll be okay, but where's the next one, E? Yeah, it really wiped out his place. Look at that. Look at that
Sure
room there.
did.
Look what it used to look like.
Oh man, it's
Pretty dope.
lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I hope his animals are all okay.
Yeah, it was those ring-tailed lemurs I was worried most about.
Yeah, hell yeah. Dude, that would be badass to go visit there, wouldn't it?
To go walk through his wreckage?
No, not through the well, that too, but no, just be invited there to go to a party or something.
Sure.
Fly over to that island or however you get there. Did you see some? Remember we were looking at that? I think it was the Bahamas where the water drained out of the ocean.
Yeah,
and we're seeing
that
like
was something.
seashells. Did you see that like manatee?
Yes.
That was
two of them.
stuck.
Yeah, two of them got rescued out of that.
Yeah, I can't believe
poor
that.
little sea cow.
He's just sitting there like, what is going on in here, man? Where did everybody go? Where's all my water?
Those are cool animals.
Yeah, Derek used to have one.
Yeah, right. I forgot.
For like 30 cents a month or
Yeah.
something, you could own a
Yeah,
manatee.
I own a star too.
Yeah, well, but yeah, seeing the people run out there, I was the whole time I'm thinking, oh god, the water's coming back at some point. The water's coming
I
back
know.
any moment now, and you're going to be halfway out to, you're going to be 400 yards out.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
The sea cow.
Did he makes it?
Yeah, he made it.
He did.
They helped him.
Oh,
Good humans. Good humans.
Yeah, I feel like a real asshole getting stuck in the
How
mud
long can
like
those guys
this.
be out of water? You know?
I don't know. Have they been lying all this time? Do they not need water?
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm dying here.
They don't come up to shore and sit there like a seal, do they? Like on a.
Think so. See one on a lawn chair or something, just chilling.
I personally have never seen that. But
So what are they doing? Like scooping mud and water into his face?
maybe.
Yeah, thanks guys. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Poor guy. It
Stop
just
filming me, man.
receded and he got stuck. His belly got stuck on the ground.
He would have had no idea. Like, that's never happened to him in his
No.
life. Like, he's gone
It's
about
like,
his day.
Why?
Like, what is this all about? Someone care to explain who stole all the water?
I was just swimming about.
I wonder
It's
if those guys
amazing.
are those guys affected when those massive storms come? Do they get like? Are they like?
Sixth sense about it? Like head
Yeah,
to deep water?
We have heard that animals do get some weird sense about it, but I wonder like if they're just swimming around in the Bahamas when a Category 5 goes over, do they feel that, or are they protected by the water?
Yeah, I mean, they're.
If it just goes by, not this time where it collects the water, do they even know what's going on, or
I don't know.
why I'm asking you?
You're
Like
looking at me like for an
like you're an oceanologist or
no.
something. Would know that.
Yes? I think maybe you
I
just,
would think they would.
you just go a little deeper and you're fine. I would dive deeper.
That's a good call. That's what I'm
If
going to
it
do.
feels weird up top, I'll dive deeper.
Yeah, I like that.
Hey, everybody. Check out the Detroit Cast listeners business page. It's a page under the Help the Show tab on our website, DetroitCast.com. Some of you have never even been to DetroitCast.com. I highly recommend it. Go check it out. Help the show. The listener business page is there. Take a look. It'd be great to support the supporters of the show. And this week's featured listings are Dustin's Mowing and Grounds. They serve Oakland and Livingston counties. They provide lawn, landscaping, snow and ice. Got a plan for the snow and ice here pretty soon. For both commercial and residential, you will notice a difference with Dustin's Mowing and Grounds. Also, Old Time Photo, the most fun in Frankenmuth. Reserve your appointment online today. Use promo code TDCJ. They also travel for weddings and special events. Go check them out. They're a lot of fun.
Bam Margera, looking a bit rough.
Yeah,
man.
he's looking kind of like his dad these days, huh?
Yeah.
What's his dad's name again?
Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil and April.
Yeah, they'd be sleeping. He'd just like whack him in the head with a frying pan.
Dude, Tom Green's parents and Bam Margera's parents, like, I don't know how. Like, if I would have gone in and just, like, jumped on my dad and hit him with a frying pan while he was sleeping, I wouldn't be here today. You know what I mean? Like that would be grounds for death.
Well, you know, I watched. I don't know if you're about to, because I don't know if you're about to get how he's going to get back into skateboarding. Is that the deal?
Well,
Because
buddy.
he has a special on this Viceland. I guess it's a new TV channel.
Yeah.
And I watched it the other day. Is
Did
the
you
point.
the epically latered about bulimia?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. That's what
I
didn't care about his skateboarding career. He's 40 years old. He's not going to be a pro skateboarder.
Well, no, but when you know what, in that video they did do in that episode they did a lot of talking to his parents that I've seen biographies on Jackass stuff, and it hit stuff that I hadn't seen before. Talked about his dad, like just loved that he skated. His dad would drive with him everywhere he went, even as a kid, filming everything he did. And his mom talked about when he started playing these videos and kind of these stunts for friends, like. She admitted that, like, shit, I probably shouldn't laugh about this, but she thought it was funny.
Oh, you could tell that about her. She was reluctant.
Trying to be, like, a parent, but she admitted that she's like, dude, this is kind of funny. I think it's funny.
No, that family had to absolutely buy into that. Just, like, off air, like, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
You know, this is going to be crazy for a little while, but...
It's the thing, like, with a kid like that, it's the best that parents can do, because you would see your kid growing up going, okay, this kid's going to buck the system. He is not going to excel in math and reading. So if he finds something that he's really into, encourage it. Let's see where that goes, because if you try to force a kid into scholastics when they're not feeling it, it's going to be a rough ride.
Well, and he was really, I didn't realize as much, but he was obviously just really good at skateboarding from a young age, though. And they were talking, I don't know, it was interesting to me. They were talking about the fact that he would make these skateboarding films, and then he would have all the kids in the neighborhood come and watch, but they would be like 40-minute skateboarding films. So like 50 people would come, but they'd start getting bored because it was just skateboarding, and that's why he started throwing in like the kind of the funny stuff, because then he would stay for 5 minutes, then he'd throw in some funny stuff, and so instead of
what do you mean throwing some funny stuff, like wipe out on purpose?
The pranks that he was starting to do with his friends.
Yeah, because he was doing his thing, and Johnny Knoxville was doing his thing.
Yeah, but this is even like when he was like in high school and shit, because he was saying, like I said, he would have everyone from the neighborhood come to watch these skateboard videos, but they didn't all like skateboarding, and he being the attention, kind of ADD kid he was, he wanted people to stay with him and watch everything. So he thought, well, if I throw in some other kind of pranks or some or that, then they'll kind of stick through that, then watch a little skateboarding, and then pretty soon they're sticking through the whole thing.
And Jackass was the melding of different groups around the country doing shit at the same time, right?
Yeah, Steve-O was going to, like, clown college or something, and Margera had
Florida.
his crew. And then
the CKY crew.
Yeah, and then Knoxville had his crew.
Yeah,
I don't know. Big E and Burley were here.
Right.
And
they were almost
Waterford.
picked.
But yeah, it was
You're right.
something happened.
I think they deemed them too old, though. Burley and E for what they were doing.
I don't think you can be too old. I
So
think
deem
it's
them
funnier.
too late.
Too late, yeah, to the party.
Oh, so you watched our show and copied what we did, and wait, what?
And then they tried to defend
Great,
like, the
man.
skull and crossbones.
It's so
thing.
great how this narrative, what a fucking narrative. It's so hilarious. Like, whatever.
So how did the three get together then? How did the three groups meld together? How did they find it? Because they weren't in the same state.
No, you know what? Johnny Knoxville was working in California for this, and he started doing stuff for this like magazine, and I think called Big Brother. And,
I got you.
And he wanted to. It was a skateboarding magazine / and I remember the big thing is that Johnny Knoxville wanted to test police
tasers,
mace, tasers, and he wanted to do an article about it, but he wanted to film it. And somehow he ended up winding up with Jeff Tremaine.
Yeah.
They film it. He loves it. And then CKY and Bam had already had the CKY videos out, and he was a professional skateboarder.
Yeah,
so.
wasn't Bam sending videos to that magazine or something where Knoxville
Steve-O
worked?
was. Steve-O was trying to be a professional stuntman. He just kept telling chicks he was going to be that. Like he would just be getting drunk all the time and telling girls, "I'm going to be a stuntman." And he was sending stuff into Big Brother like literally every day. Like he was sending film of him just doing stupid shit.
Yeah,
and he was good enough at skating that they would take it a little seriously. I think
That's
Steve-O was
astounding.
Anyway, that's probably getting in the weeds a little bit, but
crazy too. Like Steve-O's story is so hilarious. Like his dad was this humongous executive, like vice president or president of Pepsi, like international at one point.
Yes,
and then like R.J. Reynolds. So he was like a big dog. So this kid grew up with like maids and drivers and limo services everywhere he went, and here he is like going off to clown college and blah blah blah.
Well, like I said, I've actually read Steve-O's autobiography, and it was actually better than you even would think it would be, just because you're right, that kind of stuff. But he just from a young age, same thing like Bam, though. He would just tell people he was going to be a stuntman. He didn't know what that even meant, he said, but I just said I'm going to be a stuntman.
It's so funny.
Bam Margera has bulimia?
He did.
Really?
Apparently he wanted to be skinny as shit. He wanted to be that like heroin chic skinny.
Well, because of his love of fucking the guy on Him. What was the band Him?
I don't know that band, but yeah, Billy something.
He falls in love. He falls in love with this like European. I don't know if it was European, but this like death metal band or something from, I forget exactly what, but they're kind of this weird small band, but they're big in another, I forget where, but it's called Him. And he falls in love with their heartogram.
Their what?
Their logo. This band Him uses a heartogram as this logo, and Bam falls in love with it. So then he starts falling in love with the band, and then
They're
what's
like
the name?
huge
Billy?
in Germany or whatever. They're opening for Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Ville Valo is the guy's name. And Bam always wanted to have this very slim look, and a lot of it kind of happened when he became good friends with Ville. He's the loveliest man ever, but he never ate. He just drank.
What is it, like the Scott Weiland Velvet Revolver look?
Here,
Yeah.
let me
See if you can find him, E. I don't know what he looks
it's
like.
not that
but...
hard.
So he notices that this guy just like drank beer all day, and that's like what he would do. And so he introduced Bam to the world of day drinking, a habit that quickly spun out of control. We would go out to dinner, and then Bam would immediately go excuse himself and go to the bathroom. His mom, April, recalls. I said, "Are you throwing up?" He's like, "Yeah. Sometimes I throw up. That way I don't get too fat."
That's him in the middle there.
Yeah, and at the same time, he's probably looking at Phil and his uncle,
Yeah.
Vito or whoever
Well, yeah,
it was.
yeah,
going,
yeah.
shit, dude. That's where I'm headed.
In the documentary, he says, his dad says that he thought the Bam looked around and saw like him and his uncle were fat, and he had another family member that was completely normal, and he thinks that he looked around and said like, "Wow, I'm either going to be fat or not," and he did not want to be fat because he's got this MTV. Now he's into the MTV thing. He's starting to realize he wants to look good, and he doesn't want to be fat.
Yeah.
But he wants to party still.
So his mom is like, "Yeah, it really hurts me now when people make comments like, yeah, you look like your dad,' or even just like, yeah, you look like you've gained some weight." So that the shaming thing really
He
hurts.
does
the
look
mom.
like his dad in that picture.
Yeah, but his dad is humongous.
Oh, I know,
though.
but you see
Phil in
Phil's
there.
son in that picture for
Yeah,
sure.
his cheeks are really
I know,
popping
he's getting
nice.
bigger.
Aren't they? Yeah, poor guy.
This is the heart. Oh shit! It won't open up for some reason, but that's the heartogram right there.
Oh yeah,
I
would
remember the
fall in love with him,
heartogram,
too.
yeah.
Dude, I had a pair of Bam Margera skate shoes with that heartogram on it.
Really?
Yes.
I totally remember that.
God, I don't.
He fell in
I
love
don't-
with it, man. He fell in love with that logo first. Then he fell in love with the band, and then it just became pretty big in America for a little bit, and it was only because of Bam.
Bam?
I saw them
That's
once
awesome.
even.
Really?
Yes, I saw him play one time.
Are they good?
They were all right. I actually didn't hate them.
Yeah.
I didn't hate him.
I didn't hate them, I meant to say, I guess.
Hey, trust matters, especially when it's your money. Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial works hard to build a relationship of trust by providing thoughtful, unbiased guidance and placing your interests first. Invest with a knowledgeable financial advisor who's on your side. Call today. Tell Mark that you're a friend of the show for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. 248-626-2000. Ask for Mark.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Hey, today is the 16th year anniversary of 9/11.
I think this year answers that question, like, when will 9/11 not be at the forefront of everyone's minds on 9/11?
I know, you're
Yeah.
right.
You know, this was the first year.
It's also somebody's birthday.
No, it's not.
Isn't it?
Tomorrow
Oh,
is Mike's
tomorrow.
birthday.
Okay, sorry.
So everybody, yeah, on that note, before we get to 9/11, send Mike Facebook posts, emails, whatever.
You don't have to do that. No, that's okay.
Wish him well.
Nah, it's not necessary.
Give him a happy birthday.
Rather you didn't.
Give him a happy birthday.
Rather
He
you didn't
appreciates
send
it.
Might
cash.
be your last, Mike. You never know.
That's true. You could send cash too to DetroitCast.com. There you'll find a donate button. We'd love cash to come. But dude, right? Like this was the first 9/11 that I ever remember
Yeah.
where I signed on my computer and I looked at the news and I read 5 different stories before I went, "Oh fuck, dude.
Yeah.
It's 9/11."
I often think, like, because that is such a huge thing for us. Like, people our age that lived through that, it's like Vietnam was for, the generation before us. And I often wonder, like, God, I got to ask Jay, like, what do his kids think?
Consider this. Manny was a month old on 9/11,
Yeah.
2001. So he's a junior in high school right now.
Yeah.
So basically, all high schoolers, most kids in college,
And
Don't
anyone
even-
younger than them.
think of it as Pearl Harbor like we did.
Yeah.
Do.
Yeah.
It's
So
this thing,
crazy.
it's this awful thing that happened, but they don't have a personal connection with it.
Well, they love to do the hashtag never forget, and it's really important that we teach our kids. It's like, yeah, it was really important for them to teach us about Pearl Harbor or
Right. I don't
You know, and
remember.
I just-
What day is that?
December 6th.
Is that what it is? Because I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't remember it.
Yeah. Well, September 11th. I woke up this morning, and obviously you're in New York. You've got
December 6th, December 7th.
fuck. I don't know.
It's a day
I
that
think
will
it's
live.
7th.
It's supposed to live forever.
December 7th, right?
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know. I know every year about around that date I start reading stories on it, and then I'm always compelled to read stories, and you read these amazing stories of heroism and
Your papa was there.
Yeah, my grandpapa was
Well,
there.
if you remember, he was he had his issues with sending out the what was he doing? What were we saying that he was doing? There was something about. Never mind. Forget.
Oh,
it.
they were on their boats, and there would be like wounded Japanese in the water, and they would just take their boats and kick that son of a bitch sideways and just send them careening out to sea. And the real thing was they didn't have food, so it was like, if we take these prisoners on, we have to feed them, and we're splitting a potato between 4 of us. So, and just send them off in a wave out to sea. It was the enemy.
December 7th?
December 7th.
Yeah. But I woke up this morning, and they love to do this in New York. They meet at the at Ground Zero, and they have a big ceremony, and the president will be there, and Vice President Pence will be in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, or something like that. And they do this every year where they read off the names of everybody that died, and so they'll have like the daughter or granddaughter of someone who passed away, and then his wife, the widow, and it's just like John Stevens. Ding.
Yeah, ring the bell.
Pete Johnson. Ding. And it's like for 3,000 names. And now what I'm noticing, they're starting to cut away during the reading. Like, let's send it over here really quick. And it's like, ooh.
That's where we are.
Not even
It took 16 years, but
Yeah.
that's...
I can't believe it was 16 years ago. Honestly, though.
I wonder if Irma wouldn't have hit, whether it would be... We'd be looking toward year 17 as the year that
Dude,
it sort of became.
to put it in context, the first paper I was looking at this morning, Richard Branson's home photos was a story more top of the page than 9/11 was. That doesn't bode well for what's going to happen as we go down the road. Did you know there was a 9/11 movie released this weekend
No.
with Charlie Sheen in it?
No.
Yes.
What?
Dude. I had no
Chuck
idea.
Sheen?
Yes.
No idea he was back on the circuit.
In a dramatic role. I hear he's actually pretty good. It's about like 5 strangers in an elevator in one of the towers. When the
I
plane
own a drug.
hits.
It's called Charlie
Charlie
Sheen.
Sheen. Charlie, I got tiger blood. Charlie Sheen.
I got tiger blood, man.
Which is funny because they're getting some shit over this because Charlie has publicly spoken about, oh, yeah, it could have been an inside job.
Yeah.
Like, he's an Alex Jones fan. And so it's like, dude, what are you doing a 9/11 fucking movie for?
Duh. Winning.
Winning. Got to get paid.
Yeah, he's an actor, Mike. You don't have to
Yeah.
agree with all of your roles or buy into them.
Also starring in this film, Whoopi Goldberg. She plays like an operator that's communicating with the elevator that these people are stuck in. And they're like, Academy Award winner, Whoopi Goldberg. And I'm like, ugh, Whoopi looks weird with that wig on. Gina Gershon.
Okay.
Wasn't she the whore in Showgirls?
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, I mean,
She's
there
got
were,
the weird mouth.
yeah, kind of like
the
the
Joker mouth.
Yeah, kind of like the chick on Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Yes.
kind of mouth.
Very Guilfoyle-esque.
Jacqueline Bisset, Louise Guzman are all in this movie. So I saw an opportunity to do something dramatic. I wanted to do
Wow, winning.
It's a time when we really came together as a country, as a people, and I think, given where we are right now, maybe it's a nice reminder, in spite of what led us there, to be more unified and more united. But like I said, it's, pissed some people off who...
Yeah.
Not doing too good as far as the Rotten Tomatoes, 20%.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh. Are there like reviews from people that say
have to-
so-and-so sucks, or... The problem was they went up against it.
Well, that, and also the problem is the real life story is as dramatic as it gets. All you have to do is watch one of the many documentaries that's been made, and it all comes flooding back, and you're just like, holy shit. You don't need the drama created by Charlie Sheen and Bissett and Whoopi Goldberg to express what that day was like.
Yeah. Well, I've often said that I can't get enough of 9/11. Like, if there's a documentary on 9/11, I have to watch it.
Yeah.
But the movies, whether it's United 93 or wasn't there one like World Trade Center or something? There was a movie.
Yeah, I think
They're like,
so.
I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
I don't have any interest in it.
I don't need Hollywood's
No.
hype machine to like, dude. The real event is something I'll never forget.
It was dramatic enough. I don't
Yeah.
need a recreation. Dude, speaking of great Americans, did you see Kid Rock's Facebook post this morning?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't. What?
Lengthy Facebook post
Really?
speaking back to those claiming he's racist and so forth.
Oh, excellent.
People,
Please.
pay no
Don't
attention.
skip a line.
Pay no attention to the garbage the extreme left is trying to create. And by the way, fuck the extreme left and the extreme right. They are trying to use the old Confederate flag bullshit, etc., to stir the pot when we all know none of this would be going on if I were not thinking of running for office. It's true, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're trying to stick a nail in him before he even
Well,
announces.
it's just like when you say about Trump. If you asked 3 years ago if Trump was racist, no one said anything about that. All of a sudden now he's literally Hitler now. And
Yeah.
3 years ago he wasn't even. No one gave a shit.
I don't even think it's so much about him running as much as his support of Trump. Like, his support of Trump is enough to...
Oh yeah, I agree with that probably.
Yeah, but the running thing
It doesn't help.
Yeah, putting him up against Stabenow, that's an important seat. He could beat her, you
Yeah.
know, and so they're
Hope he
feeling
does.
they're feeling it. Pretty funny how scared I have them all, and their only agenda is to try and label people, me, racist, who do not agree or cower to them. No one had a word to say when we sold out the 6 shows at LCA back in January. My track record in Detroit and Michigan speaks for itself, and I would dare anyone talking trash to put theirs up against mine. I am also a homeowner and taxpayer in the city of Detroit, so suck on that too. I am the bona fide king of Detroit love, and it makes me smile down deep that you haters know that. Your jealousy is merely a reflection of disgust for your own failures and lack of positive ideas for our city. I am, however, very disappointed that none of the people, businesses, or charities I have so diligently supported in Detroit have had anything to say about all these unfounded attacks from the handful of jackasses and the Detroit Free Press. So for the unforeseen future, I will focus my philanthropy efforts on other organizations besides the ones I have supported in the past. I would, however, employ that NAN, N-A-N, go ahead and make up these losses since they claim to be so good for Detroit and do not want me opening the arena and generating tons of jobs and tax dollars for the city and people I love. Idiots. Has Al Sharpton even paid his back taxes yet? P.S. Sam Riddle is a piece of shit criminal and prime example of a lot that is and has been wrong with Detroit. Sam, you suck and you know it. If anyone does not know who he is, please Google him, or in this case, Bing him.
Bing him, yeah.
PPS, to be clear, fuck anybody who takes a knee or sits during our national anthem. Pretty sure if Russell Wilson or Tom Brady were doing it, they would have no problem finding a job playing for any team they wanted in the NFL. So cut the bullshit. PPPS. Just saw this latest fake news piece, and there's a link to a Sharpton thing. That idiot that posted this is such a bad reporter that she did not even check to see if this was my Twitter, which it is not. Of course, the press will report on everything else I have said here except this fake news. Unreal. And these are the types of stories that cannot be taken back in this day and age because they go viral so quickly and the damage is done before the corrections can be made.
Yep.
So this is a link that says Kid Rock gloats over Sharpton kid's bust. So he's just claiming that wasn't even my Twitter account, you assholes.
Oh, what did Sharpton's kid get in trouble for something?
You'll have to go to the link. PPPPS. On a positive note, I can't wait to rock everyone's socks off at LCA the next few weeks. We've been beyond working hard and have something we think all in attendance will enjoy, as long as you don't mind a few F-bombs here and there, LOL. There is so much to be thankful for and so many positive things going on in and around our city, state, that we need not let these handful of jerks sway that in any way. I know I should probably not even have posted anything about these bottom feeders, but I will always stand up for myself, my family, my friends, my fans, my city, my state, my country, and the good and human nature. PPPPPS. I love black people. God bless Kid Rock.
That's awesome. Good for him. He must have taken serious offense at Stephen Henderson's
Yes.
article? Horseshit article. Not even an article, just like an opinion piece in the commentary in the Freep.
Yeah, he's an editorialist.
Yeah.
That's his job, but
It
yeah, this
was-
notion that he'd been stewing for months over this.
That's right.
You know, it's really the notion that you would have a guy who used the Confederate flag at his concerts open something up in Detroit is just a total slap in the face of all black people in Detroit.
He was basically calling him a neo-Nazi, and then it was like, I understand that's an extreme sentence to state. As I thought about it for weeks. Really? Thought about it for weeks. It's
Mulled
the
it
only
over.
one that made sense. Yeah, that's the only sentence that made sense, was that Kid Rock is somehow basically a neo-Nazi. And the other horse shit in that article was like, you don't have to like Kid Rock's music, and I know it's a punchline to go, oh, fucking cheap-ass country, hip poser rock, whatever. You don't have to like it. But to in any way insinuate that he doesn't love the city of Detroit or he's using the city of Detroit for his own gain, it's like, dude, stop it. You lose all credibility with that. Like, his track record is flawless
Yeah.
when it comes to representing this city in a time when people ran out of this city. He didn't. He was the one guy that fucking stayed here. You know, I mean, there were a few of them, but there was a lot of people that ran from this city. And when it was a shithole, he put Detroit on the map nationally to kids the way NWA did with Compton 30 years ago, you know, and made it relevant. Detroit became cool on the backs of the Kid Rocks, the Eminems.
That's the thing. It's not just the dollars he's given to the city, but there's an intangible to that.
Totally.
To what Eminem and Kid Rock did
Yeah.
for Detroit just by, you know, repping
by
Detroit.
staying here and repping it and giving to it and doing cheap concerts for 2 weeks on end so that poorer people could go to the shows. Like, what are you talking about? Every band comes through and, $200 a ticket. Great. Okay. And then these guys find a way to do a block party for a week and sell tickets for $20 each. You know, like that's not a money. It's just a money grab on your back in this city from a racist. Stop it. You know, it is infuriating that those businesses that he's talking about, that he has given to, and there's probably a shitload of them you don't even know about, you know, that he's helped out or whatever. You can imagine the sob stories that he gets dealt every day, looking for a handout and help, and they're all legit causes for the most part. But
Didn't come to the forefront and defend him.
yeah, and I understand why Kid would say that, but there's a real risk in trying to position yourself. I don't have a problem with it. I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks, but those businesses, we've seen them get murdered by the extreme left. This business supports and make sure you don't shop here, and they list all the businesses that support Trump or Ivanka Trump or whatever, and it's like just destroy them without mercy. And so if you're a small business in Detroit, and you try to go, by the way, Kid Rock was great to us, like they could easily just go,
Yeah.
you're an Uncle Tom, you're a neo-Nazi lover and a racist lover, like, and then try to kill your business. So it's not something you can just step out into the forefront of, and you know, I don't know. It's a tough one. I would hope people would do that, but I kind of understand why they don't, just because it's been so toxic for so many of those businesses. Think LL Bean. Remember LL Bean?
Yeah.
When they said they were supporting, or
Trump.
they basically just went, yeah.
No, it wasn't LL Bean. It was
wasn't.
It was the daughter of the founder.
Yeah, it was.
And she wasn't
It was a
even-
bean.
It was a bean. You're absolutely right. It was a
I
bean.
think we declared her name was something like
like-
Jennifer Flick the Bean,
Yeah.
Bean or something was her middle name.
But she, I think maybe held like a ceremonial board position or something. But LL Bean's going, fuck, we're getting killed, you know, and it's her personal view.
Well, it wasn't even, no, she just said it turned out she'd given some money. It wasn't like she even had a tweet or anything. She just like,
But
we
she
dogged
gave
that
money.
right.
That's a political statement.
Yeah.
And then she was forced to come out and go, yeah, I also gave money to Obama last term, and I gave money to this person, that, but, you know, but it's like it didn't matter. The damage is done, and then they're running with it. Don't buy I'll never buy LL Bean again. Never.
I'll get my duck boots elsewhere. Thank you.
These people. I did mention Stephen King and It, the movie. You know, it was taken on Charlie Sheen. Apparently had an impact, as it did a massive $117 million
Biggest
in the U.S.
Biggest opening for a horror movie ever, right?
Yeah, yep.
Biggest opening for a September movie, I believe.
Yes. It was the third largest opening weekend of 2017 behind Beauty and the Beast and Guardians of the Galaxy, which doesn't sound like much, but when you're talking about an R-rated movie, dude, you wipe out anyone under the age of 17 that's going to be able to legally go to that movie. Like, R-rated movies don't open that big, and so that's really an impressive statement there. It crushed the record for the largest September opening, set by Hotel Transylvania 2 in 2015, $48.5 million that did. It's also the biggest opening weekend banked by a horror or supernatural film. With its $62 million overseas, the movie's now at a global take of $179 million.
I wonder why they did target a September opening when in history, as you say, that Transylvania or whatever was a $48 million opening and that was the record.
Yeah.
And this is a horror movie. You'd think you'd want to go October, right? I mean, as soon as you get into October, everybody's thinking Halloween.
Yeah.
I wonder what it was about what stacked between now and then that they decided this is the weekend to go with, because it's very carefully planned.
Yeah,
a year in advance.
Did I read that there's a movie coming out about the Poltergeist doll or something? Who was it? Robbie and
Oh, dude, you're thinking of it's not the Poltergeist doll. It's a spin-off from
what is that? Dude?
My boys made me watch one of these damn things. The shit.
Let me see if I can find it, dude. I thought
Annabelle.
Annabelle.
Annabelle's the doll.
Yes.
And it's spin-off
It's a
from The
creepy looking
Conjuring. The Conjuring was 1 and 2. The boys made me watch one, and I had a nightmare.
Ah, of course you did.
Pissed me off. It scared me, Mike. I went to bed and I'm like, and I had a nightmare that night that I was being killed.
Really?
Yes, it was awful.
By the doll or just in general?
I don't remember the details, but I had a legit nightmare that night, and it made me very angry. So Annabelle is a spin-off from that movie, and she's a creepy-looking little chick.
Yeah.
Like this, it's this little possessed doll. Same idea as the poltergeist style, but...
I saw just a still image of this little girl standing there holding this doll with its eye. and I was
Right,
just
like what little girl would hold on to that doll?
Nobody.
No. You'd run from that doll.
Yes.
It is the creepiest-looking doll ever. Isis, throw it on the board, please. I'm a visual learner.
Yeah.
Ah! Oh, God!
Now I'm going to have a nightmare just seeing
Dude!
that.
It's just... Why? Why do we watch these movies? I'm like, my boys like begged me to watch a scary movie with them. They love that shit. Them and one of the neighbor dudes, Twan. What's up, Twan?
What up, Twan?
They love watching horror movies, and for the longest time, come on, Dad, you got to watch this with us. It's so good. It's so good. Fine, I'll watch it. I'll be damned if I didn't have a nightmare.
Yeah. Are you going to go see It? I kind of want to see It.
No.
Like, Beth really wants to go see it. She wants me to go, and I'm like, all right, I think I'll go. And people are like, it's terrifying, but hilarious. And then I see the cast as like all kids, and I'm just like, oh man, I don't want to see a bunch of little kids.
No.
You know, I don't know. It kind of, he's down in the sewer, and this kid's like the paper boat or whatever goes in there.
It goes down there.
There he is.
He ends up chopping the kid's arm off, man.
Really?
Yeah, I remember reading the first couple chapters of that book.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's not good, Mike. I'm not going to see it. But I saw some quote from some movie industry dude, like, it put much needed air back in the box office balloon. Suddenly, the entire narrative has shifted from doom to gloom to optimism. It's effectively hit the reset button, created newfound momentum in the film industry. Like, why? This is a redo.
Yeah.
This should not give you any solace. This shouldn't encourage you at all. This is a redo of a book.
Yeah.
Come up with an original frickin' movie and put it out there. And when that one kills, then you hit the reset button and you feel good about the film industry.
When are we going to see, like, have they rebooted the Halloween movies or?
Probably in some crap-ass
like,
fashion.
It must be just the safest way to get financing is to go, look, this worked with the previous generation. It'll work again.
Yeah.
Like, the kids are no different. They're
We
gonna
know
wanna,
it'll at least pay for itself.
Yeah.
If we can make 20%.
You know, why be original? Why? I mean, and this is new. The movie business just hasn't been around that long, if you really think about it. I mean, we were watching black and whites back, however many years ago. And so now we're seeing the first, like, generation of, like, the reboots.
Redos, yeah.
Jaws should be coming soon. We've seen it kill with the superhero movies. Why not? Why not redo it again? It's weird because I don't see that stopping, but they know they've got precedent. They know that this will work with this age audience. We can kill it.
Man, I just think it's...
Just gonna redo everything.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
I guess right.
I think it's a dying industry, just like, going to sporting events is really a dying, changing thing, given the home entertainment systems. Like, people just want the convenience, and I don't think they're going to be going out. There'll be that collection of people, just like when ebooks came out, and they said, you know what, I like to have a book in my hand, turn the pages. There will be those people who, you know what, I like to go buy the popcorn, sit in the chair. But it's shrinking.
Yeah, I agree with you. The sports one is weird because I've never really liked going to the sporting event, thing. I mean, I liked it as a kid because I just didn't go to that many.
He's directly opposite. He wants to be there and
I know,
feel
dude.
the energy.
I'd be there every game if I could.
I get more irritated at the traffic and the crowd waiting to get
It's
in.
not
and
worth
the,
it.
The concourse.
It's not worth it.
No.
When you can see the exact same thing at home.
Oh, I can go there in bathroom lines and there's no fucking replays and I don't have an expert explaining what happened and showing exactly what happened
have
to me.
zero desire to be able to say, I was there.
Yeah.
I was at that game. Remember that game? I was there.
Yeah.
So the fuck what?
Yeah, I know. It's
That's
meaning
just
less and less to me.
Why be anywhere?
No, but I don't.
I know,
I
I
don't
get it.
feel that energy.
I
Like,
get
you
it.
get so pumped up about
Yeah.
that. I don't feel that at all.
Yeah,
No.
I get it. But,
So just watching the game on the field.
I
Just want to see what happens.
I understand.
Well, the amount of times that I've been sitting home because my buddies are going to a lot of those games, and I had tickets to them too, whether it's a Michigan game or a Lions game. And it's like, I'm going to do this remote and then go home so I can watch it on TV. And the amount of times I would get texts from people just going, dude, did he catch that? Was he in bounds?
Yeah,
And it's
right.
like, yeah, you're at the game and you have no fucking idea. And I'm like,
That's
yes,
true.
he was in bounds. It's like, and then he was in bounds. I got word. He was
Yeah.
in bounds. They're announcing to all their friends, like, It's like, dude, I'd rather be at home and watch all the replays in 50 different angles and slow-mo.
See every blade of grass.
Totally. It's just way better. But how weird would it be if, like, all of our sporting events, nobody went to them because the experience at home was so much better?
Yeah.
That would suck.
Play on some field
I think
without
I would
even
stop
stands
watching.
around it.
Yeah.
That is when I would stop watching sports, though, because to me that is. I get it. I get why everyone can't go. I get why what you're saying. But man, to me, if that really became what sports is, I'd be done with it. Because to me, it's an emotional thing, and not as much this.
He is part of a tribe.
He is.
He is a tribe
He
member
is.
at bottom.
And the fact is, you're rolling the dice when you go to a movie theater. Like, the worst part about the movie theater experience is the fact that there are 200 other people in there with you. You never know which one's going to be yapping or cough. Plus, I like being able to TiVo back.
The expense is ridiculous.
Well, the movie
too.
theater,
to
I
go
get,
see a
yeah.
new release movie, it's absurd. And then
Yeah.
you go and you sit there and you watch 20
If you
minutes
go by
of
yourself,
previews.
it's $20. If you buy stuff, if I go by myself, because I do like to get popcorn and a pop, it's $20.
The amount of money JPC Fourth dropped on me to go see half of Wonder Woman, ridiculous.
Yeah, that fact alone should have made you at least stomach the second
It
half of
did.
that
I
movie.
wanted to leave 5 minutes in, but instead, because he paid for me to go, I was like, oh,
You gave it. You
cut
gave it
this out, man. I can't handle it anymore.
Oh man. Anyway, let's take a quick time out. And Hillary Clinton, some interesting stuff. Her book comes out tomorrow.
Oh, good.
Excited for that. And yeah, it looks like, I don't know, it's trending. Looks like she's not maybe going to make back the money she got on that advance.
Really?
It's too bad.
Telling you, it's because she's a liar. People don't want to hear her spin on this.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, when you're talking about giving someone a $14 or $17 million release and they can't make that back, ooh, that is because those are massive.
I wonder if Shattered wouldn't have done what it did, whether she'd be able to pick that up. You know, Shatter beat her to the punch in a lot of ways, and it was it was at least a third party.
Yeah.
Whether you think it's truthful or not, you have no reason to think it's not.
Yeah.
It's a third party telling the story instead of her spinning her story.
Yeah, and no one in her camp really that I've seen has come out and said this is bullshit. This
Moreover,
book is
she's
bullshit."
unlikable, and that's why she lost in the first place. So why
Yes.
do you want to hear her story?
You don't, but apparently Simon and Schuster thinks it's cool or whatever. But we'll run down the list of her previous books too. Seems like maybe she's had a bit of a problem reaching the payback of.
Is
all of
that
her.
right?
Wow, yeah. Crazy. We'll get into that and more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hi, everyone. This is Kelly Menino, your event coordinator for the Hamlin Pubs. Did you know that Hamlin Pubs offer 2 private rooms at each location, both located in Shelby Township? We specialize in all kinds of events, from bridal and baby showers, dinner rehearsals, to corporate luncheons and wedding receptions. My team is committed to making your occasion your most memorable event. Give me a call today so that we can plan your next event. Call me at 586-596-1425 or visit our website at hamlinpubs.com.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
What do? I ain't do shit.
Where does that come from?
What?
I ain't do shit.
When I was a cop that day, when I was on the beat in Redford,
Oh, okay.
and that kid was in the back seat, and he was talking at 100 miles an hour. My kid's in the hospital. I got homework. I got all these excuses why he needed to be let go. And my partner, Officer Crack, at one point just goes, "What do?" And then he just went, "I ain't do shit."
Why did I not know that? I've always wondered why does he always say I ain't do shit after I hit?
What do? I ain't do shit.
Because I was laughing so hard in the I was in the passenger seat. My partner usually drives, and so I was
Riding
sitting
shotgun,
I was
as it
riding
were.
shotgun,
Yeah.
in case
Literally.
I need to hop out in a blink of an eye and take someone down to
Oh, I gotcha.
Chinatown.
I
Yeah.
gotcha.
But yeah, when he just went, "What do? I ain't do shit."
Crack.
In the middle of his fucking,
Ask him what do.
that was right before he went, "Watch this," and went like a credit card with his license, and it just went.
Bit of a rap sheet.
he was wanted in like he was what do they call that when you're not wanted, but you've got warrants. He had
Yeah.
warrants in just about every town in America. and then it was like, okay, the most pressing one appears to be in Pontiac. And so then you call the Pontiac and go, "Hey, I
You
got
want
so and so. Do you want him?
Yeah.
Do you want to send someone out?"
We're overbooked here. We can't take him on.
Yeah, just let him go. I'd rather not send someone out there to pick him up.
Wonder where that gentleman is today.
It was just so funny to be so sure. Watch this. Awesome.
Hey, the Hamlin Pub supports the Detroit Cast, so let's make it a point to support them with locations in Rochester Hills, Clarkston, Chesterfield, 2 in Shelby Township. You know there's one near you. The Hamlin Pubs have great food, ice-cold drinks, tons of craft beers, TVs, games, and great entertainment. Come on by or book your reservation today at hamlinpubs.com. We cannot mention Hamlin Pubs without mentioning our event on Saturday, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Isis, would you like to explain to the fine people what we're doing on Saturday?
Oh, Jesus. This is on the spot.
This is how you work best, though. Go, E.
Yeah. I don't know.
Pitch it. Sell it.
We're having a meet. We're having a meetup at 22 and Hayes, the Hamlin Pub at 22 and Hayes from 5 to 8. It's gonna be very show interactive. It's not. This isn't just one of these times where we're gonna sit around and just have some beers and look at each other. Like,
we will do some of that too.
Well, we will, but we're not going to be staring at each other. And for the people who really like this show and love the drops and love talking about the show, it's going to be very show centered with a trivia contest and ask the show anything such thing. I'm going to do some comedy. TCG might be there.
Well, patch things up, did you?
TCG
Just in
might
time.
be there. He might be there. Kadog's going to be there,
Yeah,
I think.
I think
Maybe our
McCard's gonna try to
gonna
make
be
it.
there.
Hard.
Yeah.
Right on.
So
It'll be fun.
look at that. People from show past will be here.
I'm really interested to see how well people do on the trivia.
I'm getting some of the questions. And
Over the last couple weeks, Gab and I have just been kicking things around, back and forth, and she tends to come up with just the really easy. I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
Again, like everybody knows Nana's shave pattern. You've got to go deeper, Gab.
So would a good question be what is the clipper size that Jay uses to cut his hair?
Yeah. What's Jay's haircut?
Yeah. What's Jay's haircut?
5 on top, 2 on sides, 3 to blend.
There you
I
go.
wouldn't have said it.
But that's a
Describe a chick pissing in 5 words.
Ooh.
Thumb over a garden hose. That sort of thing. That'll get you into the next round, I think.
maybe.
But we're gonna go deeper, deep.
Yeah, I think
For finalists.
I think we'll have some that'll throw people off, but I think we'll be impressed with how well people do as too.
I hope so.
Yeah. Anyway, that's going to be Saturday starting at 5 o'clock, Hamlin Pub, 22 and Hayes.
Also, if you're going, don't let
Shelby.
us forget to do those acceptance speeches.
Oh, the acceptance speech.
yeah.
I forgot about that
That's
too.
going to be the thing that, like, oh shit, oh, we got to do that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
somebody remind us of that.
We have to do 4 of them because for each nomination that you got for the Podcast Awards 2017, they need an acceptance speech in case you win.
Yeah.
And so we figured we'd do them out there with you guys. Maybe even have you guys accept them for us. Just have different people do the acceptance speech for us.
What are our categories again? Mature. Comedy, entertainment.
And People's Choice.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, that's gonna be cool, man. And then those will get played, on the award ceremony. So it could be pretty cool. But don't let us forget to do that, because I totally forgot about it until you just mentioned it. So we need to get those done. Now I mentioned Hillary Clinton before the break, and her new book coming out. This idiot was on Jane Pauley. You know, she's got to go to Friendly Fireplaces and promote this book if she's going to hope to recoup some of the $14 million
Where do you want her to
advance.
go? Hannity?
I know, but I thought it was such a dumb move on her part not to do Stern when Stern asked her to do his show, and he's like, he was voting for her, and it's like you can immediately humanize
That
yourself.
would be a fun interview
in
man.
front of 30 million
Yeah.
people. You're gonna have to go fucking toe
You're going to have to
toe.
roll with it a little bit,
Yes.
Hillary.
But you can come off as not a robot, you idiot. How you don't see that when you can get in front of 31 million people.
But those are
boom.
the deplorables. She doesn't want to be in front of those people.
Yeah, well, that's probably what cost of the election, because if you pick up another 30 million votes by coming off as human and not a cyborg to those people, that could have flipped that election for her. I mean, it was close enough that an interview like that could have flipped it. And it's got to be one where it's like, you can't ask me about Monica Lewinsky, or you can't ask me about Bill and women. No, you got to go in there and just fucking roll with it like everybody else.
The reason she didn't do it is obvious, because she doesn't have confidence in herself that
Yeah.
she will come off anything other than robotic and planned.
Yep.
She can't be personable.
Yeah.
She can't be somebody that people go, oh, you know what, I kind of feel bad for. I get where she's coming from now. Wow, she's human.
Yeah.
She can't, and she knows it.
And when people say she's a liar, that's a big range to put someone in. And I don't mean she's some sinister blah blah blah. I just believe a lot of those stories I've read about her, about just the nasty shit, just a nasty person. And the thing that really bothered me with her, believe it or not, was the stance on gay marriage. Where it's like, I knew in 1991 where it was like, I understand why other people feel their way, but to me it was like, two people want to be together. Fuck it, what do I care? It just doesn't affect me. I believe those two guys can be in love and let them be them. But for Hillary Clinton to have this stand, like, well, traditional marriage, traditional, blah, 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 and then in an instant, like, oh, public perception has shifted. Well, now in 2012 or 13, all of a sudden she's Miss pro-gay marriage.
Yeah, what is
And
politically
it's like,
expedient at that point?
it's like, that is so fake to me. That is so utterly fake. It's like, oh, the public consensus has shifted. If I want to maintain votes, I have to switch this way and now attack anyone who doesn't fight for gay marriage.
That's the Clinton way. You poll.
Yeah.
However the polls are showing, that's what you believe.
And that's insulting and fucking cowardly and spineless. I'd have more respect for you if when everybody wanted fucking gays hung, that you stood up and went, these are human beings, we need to respect them. And the public doesn't agree with you now, but they catch up to you later. Then you can stand on that and be like, I was champion for this shit years ago.
I like to help minorities.
Anyway, this presumptuous moron bought the property next door to hers for $1.6 million because a year before the election, she was so certain she was going to win that she wanted to have a proper house for Secret Service.
Awesome.
She doesn't regret it, though. She loves the house next door. In fact, she wrote
my God.
She wrote most of her book there at the table at the beautiful $1.6 billion. Like, look at, there's her property here on the right,
Yeah.
and there's the one right next door with the in-ground swimming pool.
Awesome.
Let me see.
Oh, I just love it. So anyway,
wow.
I was trying to get stats because I heard from someone who credibly I think is pretty spot on, who said she's never sold enough books to pay back the advance she gets for everyone that she writes. And he meant all of them. And I was like, wow. Now, they keep a lot of these numbers close to the vest. Oh, I'm a best-selling author. Like, that means nothing. You can sell 20 books and be a New York Times bestseller depending on when the book comes out. And it really doesn't mean, oh, I sold, it's not like a gold album. I sold 500,000 copies and now I'm a bestseller. No, it really doesn't mean anything. It doesn't
There's a
hold
bunch of
much
games
weight.
played too, like right up front, they'll purchase a bunch of their own books in order to get on the list and look like it's bestseller, and then people start churning it because it's right there on the top of the list.
Her last book, maybe Hard Choice, no, Stronger Together, and they had her on the cover. It was her and Tim Kaine running, and Stronger Together, like us for the country. And then it was like, this isn't selling.
Just political rhetoric. I mean, what was that?
It sold less than 3,000 copies. It's opening week.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like 2,900 copies or something in the first week.
Oh
And they
my
say you're going to get 30% of your total sales in the first week. So do the math on that. For whatever millions of advance she got for that, she changed the cover to have her and Tim on it, hoping that would boost sales. And then
What, she was on the cover before of the entitled book Stronger Together. It was only her.
I think so. And then she was pulling this book out like at rallies. I thought that's what they said in the article I read. I don't have it in front of me, but I thought they said it was she switched the cover to include Tim Kaine or something.
Is this typical where you're in the middle of a campaign and you write a blueprint for America and you talk about what you and your running mate will do? Like, isn't that the job of the campaign to go do? Who would buy that?
I don't know. Well, nobody.
I mean, everybody, right? As it's shown, everybody's hearing it all day long, all the rhetoric all day long for months and months and months. We were, we almost put a gun to our heads.
Yeah.
And you think people are going to buy that book? And I want to dig in deeper. What are her ideas?
Ooh, she's really onto something here. Rumor is that there were 2,400 copies of that book in Chelsea's apartment in New York.
Oh, shit.
So anyway, her book, Hard Choices, which she wrote in...
Hard Choices. I don't remember that one.
Hard Choices was 2014. She was given a $14 million advance. They were hoping for blistering gossip. This was after she lost the election to Obama.
Was this when she was poor? I'm trying to remember. When was that?
This might have been the one where she declared she was poor. Yeah, it might have been that one. But they thought they were going to get this book about what it's like to lose at a campaign to Obama, blah, blah, blah. Instead, Clinton's second memoir was dismissed as a 600-page advert for a 2016 Clinton presidency.
600 pages?
Yeah.
Oh.
She did not make back the advance on that book. They say the early signs are she will not make anywhere near paying back the advance for this one. In 96, she had It Takes a Village.
Yeah, I remember that one.
In 98, I think some more than just one. I think a lot of them do this, but Dear Socks, Dear Buddy. It's something about pets, White House pets for kids.
Okay.
And then she had 2000, An Invitation to the White House. And then in 2008, Living History.
She's just not a compelling person. Sorry, Hillary.
And then we've got 2014, Hard Choices. 2016, Stronger Together. And then now the new one, What Happened. I didn't know that she'd written anything, and I don't know who would be compelled to buy or read these. And why do they keep giving her advances for this? That doesn't make any sense at all.
Everybody's scratching each other's backs in that circle.
There was an article as I was digging through my Bing machine trying to find some stories about sales, what it sold, and there's very few out there. But one of the things that was the top 10 biggest busts, author busts in history, and she was on there, and right behind her was Bill's book memoir, which was a huge, thick thing after his presidency. Mm-hmm. And when it was revealed that there was really nothing on the Monica Lewinsky stuff, people went, fuck that. Whatever, unless I'm going to get some insight into that thing. Who gives a shit, I
don't know what kind of cigar it was, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Also, moving on, Don Ohlmeyer died.
Don Ohlmeyer,
remind me. Cancer. He is the guy that coined the phrase must-see TV for NBC.
Sure.
He is the guy that famously put Monday Night Football on the map.
Really?
That was his big thing. Yeah. He died of cancer at the age of 72. He's also the guy famous. He didn't quite make it. But famously, he's the guy that fired Norm Macdonald for doing too many OJ jokes on Saturday Night Live. You remember that story?
Awesome.
Yep.
He was golfing buddies with the Juice during that trial, and he fired Norm over that. His legacy was cemented. I guess he left NBC and then came back a couple years later and brought them. They were really in the toilet and brought them to prominence in first place with a primetime run of some classic shows: Seinfeld, ER, Friends, Frasier, Will and Grace.
Dude, there was a period there when he did coin that, the must-see TV, man, that Thursday night was insane if you look back on it now. Shows now that they're all on Netflix or Hulu, they're all or Hulu or whatever, they're all the biggest.
NBC has had some amazing night lineups. Amazing over the years.
They're not going to have for much longer, in my opinion. If we keep seeing Hulu, Amazon, and Netflix doing their own stuff and being able to actually talk like humans talk instead of this network bullshit. I mean, obviously there will be an audience for it, kids and whatnot. But
no, it's done. But but just when you look at it now, then you rate Frasier, like you said, Frasier, Seinfeld, Friends, Will and Grace, some of those ones.
Even back
to
into
Cosby, right? Was that on NBC?
I thought that was must see TV. The original must see TV wasn't that
Night Court,
Cheers,
Cosby.
Maybe it was.
Family Ties.
Family Ties.
But it became a thing that they held on to for a while until kind of TV kind of started going downhill, obviously. But
so anyway, he passes away. The Superstars too. Was that the Battle of the Networks stars? The Superstars in 1977.
Oh God, if he brought that to us.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm mourning his death now. That was awesome, dude.
The
Pull up the
Superstars.
Superstars, E.
what was the?
Is that like where Bruce Jenner would take on O.J.
Yes.
Simpson?
Oh, I think it was.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
was it
you'd have
called?
like a track athlete along with a
Superstars.
football player, along with a baseball player, and they do like an obstacle course at the obstacle course kicked ass at the end. Remember that?
Yeah. Why was there another show that was called Battle of the Network
Battle
Stars?
of the Network Stars was the same idea, but there was network stars as opposed
Okay.
to
Just
athletes.
the Superstar said it was ABC. It looks like.
Yeah, he went to ABC for
Oh,
a
okay,
while, where
okay.
Monday Night Football was, and
Okay.
Yeah, man, you'd have Herschel Walker, I think, kicked ass on that.
yeah, okay. Would they do tug of war in that too? Or
I think they would do like rowing competitions. They do things leading up. Everybody wanted to see the obstacle course at the end, so everything
Yeah.
was built to go to that course at the end. Who are the finalists?
He's scrolling through. I recognize that logo, the star. You'll recognize it if you see it. The red, white, and blue star with the
this?
Superstars.
Pull it over, Isis.
Here.
Oh yeah,
You recognize that?
Yep. Loved it. Hey, Zott Ford needs your trade-in. The hottest sales staff in Oakland County has sold so many pre-owned vehicles, they must restock the lot. If you own an incredibly nice vehicle and want more cash than you think it's worth, take it to Zott Ford and Holly now. Also, check out a new 17 Ford F-150 four-wheel drive leasing for as low as $188 a month, only from Zott Ford and dealsinthed.com.
I wanted to do one more story, Jay, before we get to email.
Oh, I'd be delighted.
And this is something we're seeing a lot. I don't know if you've seen, I know you've seen some of these stories where if a kid decides that he's a girl now and goes to school, like they have to address him as such.
I've heard that.
Without telling the parents even, because it's his right to, as an 8-year-old, have that privacy if he wants. It's none of their business and stuff like that. And there's like laws going in about, if your kid thinks he's a transgender, you have to help him transition and blah, 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 blah. Well, there's an Australian boy decided he wanted to become a girl after he was diagnosed with gender dysphoria at the age of 12. So for a couple of years, he's been taking his mom's estrogen hormones. His name is Patrick Mitchell. But now he's had a bit of a
Buyer's
change.
remorse?
Yeah. Oh, Patrick.
Started feeling his dick and balls going, this ain't bad.
I started developing like a girl would, which was the thing I wanted at that time. But now that's not so helpful. You have an image of what being a boy and being a girl is like, but when you actually experience it, it's very different. After growing his hair and developing a nice set of titties.
Can he keep the titties? That would be my first thing. Can I keep the titties?
I don't know. It sounds like he's ashamed of the titties now, what with being a boy and all. And it sounds like he's got to get them surgically removed because they won't just go away on their own. He's like got tits now. So yeah, he says after growing his hair long and his titties getting nice and filled out, he looked at his mom in the eye one day and just went, I'm not sure I'm really a girl.
Way to go, Mom.
I guess I just realized I could be happy without completely changing who I am. He believed he was a girl trapped in a boy's body from a young age. I would get out of the shower and walk past the mirror, and I wouldn't look at myself because it upset me. His mom, Allison, made the decision to give him puberty blockers before she allowed him to take her own estrogen hormones when he was 13. Which is against the law. They will not give kids estrogen until they hit the age of 17 or 18, I think. But she just went around that and went, I have estrogen, so I'll just give you mine. And so the kid's been taking it for a couple of years. So under law, they must wait till they're over the age of 16 and need court approval before they can begin hormone replacement therapy. Our motivation for a second stage estrogen treatment was that Patrick was growing very tall and very broad. So she's like, he's growing too fast. Oh, my God.
Stop him.
He's not going to look like a girl if he's tall and broad-shouldered.
Stunt it now.
And so she gets in there, I'll fix this. We'll fix this, dear.
Oh, my God.
And starts giving him those blockers.
We'll beat nature.
One thing that estrogen will do is halt bone growth to more of a girl pattern of growth. We were wanting to fuse his bone growth so that we could reduce his height a little bit and also soften his features.
There are people who don't want to do other things. If you want ice cream, you don't go to a barbecue shop.
Senior pediatrician Professor John Whitehall said he held grave concerns about giving estrogen to teens, transgendering teens. There is absolutely no proof that this is going to work. You think their emotional problems are going to get better by giving them estrogen? Fine. That's called optimism. It's not called scientific method. The whole thing is experimental in that sense. Now Patrick is sure he's male. His mom said doctors were wrong when they diagnosed him with gender dysphoria. Some of the effects of
Let me
hormones.
guess, they're going to sue now.
Wow, why not? They're willing to give their kid estrogen to block bone growth, dude.
That's really astounding.
Why wouldn't we sue? It's their fault. Some of the effects of the estrogen hormones are absolutely permanent. He will need surgery to reduce the size of those voluptuous, gorgeous titties he's developed while taking the treatment.
What a shame.
Dude, this...
Awesome.
It is kind of awesome in a way.
I think it is awesome. Go ahead.
I just think of the things that I would have requested from my parents at the age of 9, that I would be 26 and go, what the fuck were you thinking letting a 9-year-old decide that?
Oh, your parents would have acted like parents, you mean?
Yeah, and they would have been
No.
jerk.
No.
Why are you guys such jerks? I want to be a girl.
Yeah, what about your dick and balls?
No,
See them right there.
It's gross. I can't even look in the mirror. It's like a button dick anyways. I don't even want it. God, why you guys suck so bad? You know, Lamont's parents are letting him transition.
Lamont? Lamont is the name you pull out of the hat? Lamont? Where are you going, man? Just searching for a name in Lamont?
I was just...
You big dummy. Lamont?
Elizabeth is the big one.
Put your face in cookie dough and make gorilla cookies. Where are you going with this, man?
Dude, I swear to God, I was Rolodexing in my head, and it was just like John,
Lamont.
Jim, Lamont. So as it came time to spit the word,
Yeah.
it was all about timing. Lamont was front and center. It was just like, Lamont's parents are letting him transition.
Okay.
Doesn't that feel, it feels like child abuse to me. Honestly, it does.
Yes.
It feels like there's going to be a kid down the road somewhere that's going to go, I can't believe you doctors let my
Doctor.
parents and teachers think that somehow it was okay and helpful to let a fucking 12-year-old transition. I'm suing all of you.
Yeah, children are not developed emotionally at that point to know what's going on. You, as a parent, as an adult, doctor,
But that's not true
have
for
to
all
act
of them.
in their best
right?
interest.
Some of them are fully developed at 12, right? Is that safe to say? No. Yeah.
Although the hormones in the milk,
Yeah. Maybe.
They're getting there.
Chicks and breasts, too. Anyway, I thought you'd like that story.
love it. Hey, everybody.
Their own.
Use our affiliate links, please. At DetroitCast.com, you'll see links to Amazon and Groupon. Many of you shop on these sites already. We are happy to have partnered with both through affiliate programs. Find great deals on Amazon and Groupon, so please enter both those sites through the links that we provided. Again, you can find those portals to Amazon and Groupon
Amazon.
on our homepage, DetroitCast.com. Moreover, don't forget about MyPillow. Go to MyPillow.com. Use TDC code.
Yes.
You'll get the best savings, and you'll be sleeping like babies every night.
Yes. You say hi to my guys. Hi.
And he gives us a killer kickback on those, man. Don't think
That
for a
is a
second.
great way to support the show. If you're looking for a way to support the show, MyPillow.com,
MyPillow.
man.
He is seriously like,
Those are my guys. Give them a sweetheart of a deal.
so every pillow you buy, he pays us more than he pays himself. So seriously, it's a great way. If you're looking for new bedding or whatever, at least give him a chance.
Do not forget about the Amazon link, too.
And the TDC code. Make sure that's the thing. You don't just go there and buy pillows or whatnot. Make sure you enter the promo
Yeah.
code TDC.
Yeah. And it literally is the best deal, TDC. You'll see other deals out there on commercials on TV or on Facebook or whatever. Use TDC. It's better.
Yep.
I would like to engage in the reading of posts very quickly before I get to email. Mike, you've got one addressed right to you.
I do?
Yeah. Our boy Justin
Wow.
apparently attended Graceland
Oh,
not too long
yeah.
ago, and you've got your own here. Would you like to read it?
Well, I sure would.
Looks like you've got a recipe there on the front.
Hamburger steak, 2.5 pounds of ground beef, half cup chopped onions, half cup chopped bell pepper, teaspoon of garlic and salt, pepper, can of mushroom soup, teaspoon of Crisco, 3 teaspoons of Crisco. Crisco. Does anyone use Crisco
Dude,
anymore?
Of course the king does.
Hell yeah, the king does, man. I want some fried bananas. I need some fried nanners.
Hamburger steak?
2 eggs. Oh, I'm going to try this.
Can't you see that son of a bitch? Yeah, how about some hamburger steak?
I need some hamburger steak,
It's
man.
basically meatloaf, right? Isn't that
Is it?
basically meatloaf?
It does kind of
Sure.
sound like meatloaf.
I don't know. I've never made meatloaf, but
I got one too, man.
I need some hamburger steak, man. Oh, can I read it?
Oh,
From the
sure,
back?
yeah.
Come on now.
Well, I thought that's
No. That's just on the front. E. Mine's filled with information. Cult leader. Greetings from Graceland. I found this card for you to put on your refrigerator with the free swinging door. The king
The king.
loves his hamburger steak, man, from Nana member Justin. Well, thank you very much, Justin.
Justin writes to me,
Oh,
King,
goddamn
this
roots.
card says it all. Since you're the only one that will read this, I wanted to let you know that the $10 fee for the park got me strung out. I wanted to rip someone's tongue out by the roots.
By the roots.
If I find or hear the individual that has said that about me, I will pull your goddamn tongue out by the roots.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Nate posts in from the Mackinac Bridge. Greetings from the Mighty Mac. If you squint, you can see a retard, his slightly hot sister, her mongoloid NFL QB boyfriend, and two greatly overburdened parents walking across. You see them if you squint?
Yep, I see them. There they are.
There they are, right?
Yep. Did you see yourself, E? I can see Mongoloid Aaron Rodgers for sure.
The big Green Bay helmet. The cheese head.
Yeah. Has he ever worn a Packers jersey, like a 12
No.
jersey with Rodgers in the back? I'd love to see what happened if
He's not
he
a
did.
Lions fan. Or I mean, he's not a Packers fan.
Hey, Randy writes in with an airing of a grievance. He's requesting. I recently started working for one of the big banks in downtown Charlotte, and I noticed enough people doing this that I thought I would air a formal grievance. Well, might as well put him to the clock.
Sure.
I can't stand people that stop or walk slowly right in the middle of the busy sidewalk or hallway while they're looking at their phones. It shows a complete total lack of consideration for the people around them, as if they are saying, I don't give a hoot where you're going. I need to send a text or update my status. It's not that hard, people. All you need to do is look up, locate a position to move to, and step to the other side so other people can pass by. I have even accidentally bumped a few dudes that are the worst offenders. They usually apologize to me since they are in their own world and aren't paying attention. Thank you for your consideration, Randy.
Old man and pussy.
I think it's bona fide. I've experienced this many times myself.
Yeah.
Have I ever told you about the secretary at my old firm that honestly there was like a homing device in me? She'd be walking down the hall, and
I remember, I don't know if you said it on the show or not, but
Dude,
I've heard you tell the story.
it was weird, man. It was like a normal standard hallway in an office, and I'd be walking right along the right side next to the wall. She's walking right along her right side next to the wall, coming toward me.
Yeah.
And she would just start to veer right toward me, and I'd have to like get up against the wall, be like, shit.
Was she paying attention or on her phone or what?
She was usually had papers in her hand.
Yeah.
But it was odd, man.
And it was always her. She would always. Yeah, that's weird.
And I talked to other people around the office, like, does that happen? They're like, yeah, it does.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't just you she had an issue with?
It's others.
Bitch.
Weird.
Power tripper. She was a secretary, not even
I think she was trying to send a message. She was like the most senior secretary. One of those.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I'm even more senior than you.
I'm going to declare it. I was thinking it was a stolen grievance at first. I thought he was talking about people in the crosswalks taking their sweet ass time. I thought he was going down that road.
Oh, okay.
So I was my initial thought was, okay, this is a stolen grievance, but I think that is bona fide. It's I noticed that kind of behavior a lot of times at a concert when people are trying to make their way and some guy stops and he's holding his beers and he's looking for his friends and it's like, dude, really? You're in the middle of the fucking concourse here, pal.
Now that you say it that way, it's almost stolen from one of my grievances where I grieved the fact that people don't have a sense of their surroundings.
Yes, yeah.
It drives you crazy. It's that same sort of thing. But this one goes to the heart of the whole texting, looking down at your phone.
Yeah.
That does drive you crazy.
I noticed that on the sidewalk. If you're walking down the Main Street in Royal Oak or something, and there's always some girl or some guy like that walking on the and they're paying no fucking attention at all. And it's like, is it really that hard? It's no big deal to just pull off, lean against the wall, take care of your text, send, and then when it goes ding because someone's replied, then go walk to your wall again. But this just head down, whatever's in front of me can fuck off attitude is awful. So I'm going to declare it bona fide.
Bona fide grievance, Randy.
Yeah.
He calls you a pussy and an old man.
Yeah, we're all. This is the world we're in now, and everyone's gonna walk around texting, and you're not gonna stop it. So, pussy old man.
Save the rest for tomorrow, Mike.
All right, very good, very good. Let's get out of here, and I gotta go take care of the bear. Bear's been up there the whole show, sitting in jail. I'm gonna take her outside. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you guys then. Thanks everybody for listening.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.